How is life now these days?
Life is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm pretty broke.
From Mike Tyson, who lost a fortune worth more than $700 million, to Thomas Hearns, who found out his own house had been sold during an interview.
You know your house is gone. Sold. Taxman took it. Did you know that?
And Ricky Burns, who ended up with just 228 pounds to his name after declaring bankruptcy. In this video, we're taking a look at how some of boxing's biggest legends went from making millions to going broke, starting with Mike Tyson.
I've been rich and broke more than anybody I know.
If there's anyone in boxing who knows what it feels like to lose a fortune, it's Mike Tyson. At his peak, he earned somewhere around $430 million during his career. Adjusted for inflation, that's well over $700 million today, before he was even old enough to legally drink. HBO handed him a $27 million deal. Showtime later signed him to a $120 million pay-per-view contract, and his biggest single payday came in 2002, when he earned $103 million for fighting Lennox Lewis. The problem wasn't making money, it was keeping it. Tyson was spending more than $1 million every month. He bought well over 100 luxury cars, from Ferraris and Lamborghinis to Bentleys, and sometimes gave them away like they were nothing. He owned Bengal tigers that cost around $70,000 each, then spent another $125,000 a year just to keep trainers on staff. In the 3 years after getting out of prison, he spent $4.5 million on cars and motorcycles alone. Another $100,000 every month went toward jewelry and clothes. Then there was his entourage, which reportedly grew to more than 200 people, with Tyson covering just about every expense.
But still, we go broke. And why? Because handling money is an art. It's an art than handling money, and we never practiced that art before.
And he was right. Making money is one thing, keeping it is something else entirely. And for Tyson, there weren't many people around him helping with that. His promoter, Don King, allegedly took 30% or more through questionable business deals, leading Tyson to sue him for $100 million over alleged mismanagement. 2 divorces reportedly cost him around $19 million combined. Then in 2003, everything finally caught up with him. Tyson filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, owing somewhere between $23 and $27 million, including $13.4 million to the IRS alone. But what makes Tyson's story different from most of the fighters on this list is what happened next. He found a way back. Acting roles in films like The Hangover, his successful podcast, and especially his cannabis business, Tyson Ranch, helped him rebuild his fortune. His fight with Jake Paul reportedly earned him another $20 million, pushing his estimated net worth back to around $30 million. That's still nowhere near the wealth he once had, but it's a long way from the financial rock bottom he reached in 2003. Tyson managed to rebuild his fortune. This next boxer wasn't nearly as lucky. Evander Holyfield. At one point, Evander Holyfield had everything a boxer could ask for: championship belts, massive paydays, and a place among the greatest heavyweights the sport has ever seen. He earned somewhere between $230 million and $300 million during his career, including around $33 to $35 million for his second fight against Mike Tyson alone. But somehow, he still lost almost all of it. One of Holyfield's biggest expenses was his 54,000 square foot, 109-room mansion sitting on 235 acres outside Atlanta. Just keeping the place running reportedly cost him more than $1 million a year. But according to Holyfield, the house wasn't lost because of the upkeep alone.
Well, and that's in the situation that one of the family members borrowed money off my house.
That family betrayal was one of the final blows. In 2008, Washington Mutual foreclosed on the property and it was eventually bought by Rick Ross. But the mansion was only part of the problem. Holyfield started Real Deal Records in 1999 and reportedly lost millions. He also opened a restaurant that is believed to have lost around $11 million. On top of that, he had 11 children with multiple women, and at one point his child support payments reached hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. One court order alone required him to pay more than $19,000 a month for a single daughter. By 2012, Holyfield was widely reported to be broke, despite earning what some estimates put at more than $500 million over the course of his career. Today, his net worth is estimated to be around $1 to $2 million, with much of his income coming from personal appearances and speaking engagements. He kept fighting into his late 40s and even his early 50s. Part of it was because he genuinely loved boxing. Part of it was because he still believed he could become the first 5-time heavyweight champion. But the truth is, he also needed the money. In the end, the man who once beat Mike Tyson twice ended up selling his Olympic medal, boxing gloves, robes, and even his championship rings just to stay afloat. Long before Holyfield's financial struggles, another heavyweight legend had already lived through an even more devastating downfall. Joe Louis, Few fighters have meant more to their country than Joe Louis. The Brown Bomber held the heavyweight title for 12 straight years, defended it 25 times, and became a national hero after defeating Max Schmeling in 1938 in a fight that came to represent far more than boxing. Over the course of his career, Louis grossed about $4.6 million. But after managers took their 30 to 50%, along with taxes and other deductions, he personally kept only around $800,000. And then the taxes got even worse. During World War II, the top marginal tax rate climbed as high as 90 to 94% for high earners. Louis donated entire fight purses to military relief funds, including around $47,000 to the Navy and $36,000 to the Army. But because he endorsed the checks himself, the IRS treated those donations as taxable income without giving him full deductions. By 1950, Louis owed more than $500,000 in back taxes, interest, and penalties. By the late 1950s, that debt had grown to more than $1 million and just kept piling up. At one point, the IRS even seized the $667 his mother had left him in her will. Desperate to dig himself out, Louis came out of retirement, only to lose to both Ezzard Charles and Rocky Marciano. In the years that followed, he worked as a professional wrestler, appeared on quiz shows, promoted cigarettes, and eventually became a greeter at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Joe Louis died on April 12, 1981, at the age of 66. His old rival, Max Schmeling, paid for the funeral and even served as a pallbearer. President Reagan later arranged for Louis to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery with full military honors. Unfortunately for boxing's biggest stars, Joe Louis wasn't alone. Some fighters lost their fortunes through bad decisions. This next boxer insists he never got the chance because someone else got to his money first. Riddick Bowe. Winning heavyweight titles made Riddick Big Daddy Bowe one of the highest-paid fighters of his era. He earned an estimated $80 million during his career and reportedly had around $15 million in the bank when he first retired.
Right.
What made you declare bankruptcy? Because at that point you had won what, 80 million?
Somebody
prize
stole
fight money?
All my money was stolen.
And the person he pointed the finger at was his own manager.
I let him know what he did to me bothered me. So I just forgot about it. He stole $15 million from me.
$15 million gone. On top of that, Bowe spent wildly on a luxury mansion, multiple Rolls Royces, and a massive entourage. He filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2005, listing over $4 million in debts against almost no assets. His legal troubles went beyond finances. In 1998, he was convicted of interstate domestic violence after attempting to force his estranged wife and 5 children into a car at knife point, stabbing her in the chest. He served 17 months. After boxing, Bowe drove a public bus. Nobody recognized him. By 2009, the former 2-time heavyweight champion was signing autographs at flea markets. He was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame in 2015, but accolades do not pay the bills. His net worth today is estimated at around $30,000. A man who once earned $80 million now lives on a fraction of what most people earn in a year. Unfortunately, Bowe wasn't the only boxer who says someone close to him made his fortune disappear. Fernando Vargas. Not many fighters become world champions at just 20 years old, but Fernando Vargas did. After turning pro in 1997, El Ferros quickly became one of boxing's brightest young stars. His biggest payday came in 2002, when he earned a guaranteed $6 million to fight Oscar de la Hoya. According to Vargas, much of that money was stolen by someone he trusted.
So I made 33 million in my career, and a lot of it, they stole from me.
His boyhood friend and financial advisor Joseph Pecora was convicted of stealing between $400,000 and nearly $800,000 from Vargas through forgery, tax evasion, and misappropriation. Pecora was sentenced to 9 years and 8 months in prison. On top of that, Vargas invested $200,000 in a strawberry growing scheme called Transglobal Funding, expecting massive returns. The operators filed bankruptcy.
So all I'm gonna say is be on your money.
And that is exactly what he did next. Vargas rebuilt through his family. He opened Vargas Boxing Gym in Las Vegas, where he trains prospects and runs youth programs through the Fernando Vargas Fighting Foundation. All 3 of his sons, Fernando Jr., Amado, and Emiliano, are now active professional fighters. The family calls it the Vargas dynasty. His net worth today sits at about $500,000, a fraction of his peak earnings, but he has built something that no manager can steal from him. Not every financial story in boxing has a clear ending, and no fighter's fortune has sparked more debate than this next one. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Few fighters have ever made more money than Floyd Mayweather Jr. He retired with a perfect 50-0 record and career earnings estimated at more than $1.1 billion. He reportedly made around $250 million for the Manny Pacquiao fight, then another $275 to $300 million against Conor McGregor. He branded himself money and lived up to the name, at least on the surface. Fleets of over 100 supercars, diamond-encrusted watches worth millions, multiple mansions across Las Vegas, Beverly Hills, and Miami, private jets, yachts, cash stacks displayed on social media like trophies.
Massive publications were printing them. Massive publications. I remember them saying the highest paid sports guy in the world.
But behind all those headlines, questions about Mayweather's finances have been building for years. Around 2017, he paid roughly $22 million in back taxes. In 2023, he reached another settlement with the IRS worth $5.5 million plus penalties. Then in March of 2026, a $7.3 million federal tax lien was filed against him in Clark County, Nevada. An expert has even gone a step further, arguing that many of boxing's reported paydays were never independently verified.
There has never been an executive to back those numbers. There is just a statement made and then the media grabs it and runs with it.
Whether you agree with that or not, Mayweather has found himself dealing with far more than questions about his reported earnings. In 2026, he filed a $340 million lawsuit against Showtime, alleging missing fight earnings. He also sued former associate Jonah Rechnitz for $175 million, accusing him of fraud and misappropriating funds. Around the same time, he faced a felony theft charge over a $200,000 bad check for an Audemars Piguet watch. Logan Paul has also claimed Mayweather still owes him about $1.5 million from their exhibition bout. His business dealings have also come under scrutiny. Foreclosures have been reported on commercial properties, while business publications have questioned the scale of his real estate holdings through Veda Properties, suggesting some of his claimed $402 million Manhattan portfolio consists of minority stakes or investments that couldn't be independently verified. Mayweather has repeatedly denied being in financial trouble, insisting his cars, homes, and private jets are fully paid for, and that he has built generational wealth. The reality remains heavily debated. Depending on the source, estimates of his current net worth range anywhere from $50 million to $400 million, making his finances one of boxing's biggest ongoing mysteries. While Mayweather's finances are still debated, this next champion got a harsh reality check that was impossible to ignore. Thomas Hearns. Winning world titles in 5 different weight divisions made the hitman Thomas Hearns one of the most accomplished fighters of his generation. Over the course of his career, he earned an estimated $40 million or more. His first fight with Sugar Ray Leonard in 1981 carried a combined purse of around $17 million, one of the biggest in sports at the time. Their rematch in 1989 guaranteed Hearns another $13 million.
They will. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't really get involved in people's lives unless they're asking. So I just want to, you know, your house is gone, sold. Taxman took it. Did you know that?
That was investigative journalist Charlie LaDuff breaking the news to the champ that his own home had been stolen through what appeared to be a fraud scheme involving suspicious mortgages and shell companies. Hearns owed roughly $450,000 to the IRS and defaulted on his mortgage. He auctioned off memorabilia, his beloved 1957 Chevy boats, jet skis, and ATVs to settle debts. His Southfield, Michigan home eventually sold at a tax auction for just $226,000 against a $100,000 tax debt. In early 2026, following concerns about financial exploitation and cognitive decline, the Oakland County Probate Court placed him under guardianship and conservatorship, with his son Ronald managing his affairs. Today, Hearns' net worth is estimated to be around $450,000, a long way from the millions he earned during one of boxing's greatest careers. The next story proves that even one of boxing's greatest careers couldn't protect a fighter from financial trouble. Sugar Ray Robinson. Robinson is still widely regarded as the greatest pound-for-pound boxer who ever lived. He finished his career with 174 wins, 109 knockouts, and won the middleweight title 5 times. Over the course of his career, he earned about $4 million, which would be worth more than $30 million today. But Robinson discovered that earning a fortune and keeping one weren't the same thing. The IRS took a huge bite out of his earnings. In the early 1950s, the top tax rate climbed as high as 91%. When Robinson came out of his first retirement in 1955, the IRS seized around $171,000 of the $231,000 he earned from his first 2 comeback fights. Outside the ring, Robinson had built a small business empire in Harlem. He owned a restaurant called Sugar Ray's, which hosted stars like Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole, along with a cleaners, a barber shop, a lingerie store for his wife, and several apartment buildings. But while he was retired, those businesses began to fall apart, and when they failed, there was nothing left to fall back on. Robinson also lived a lifestyle few athletes had ever attempted before. He traveled with a secretary, barber, masseur, voice coach, trainers, and even a dwarf mascot. He drove flamingo pink Cadillacs and lived like Harlem royalty. His generosity was just as famous. After Jimmy Doyle died from injuries suffered in their fight, Robinson bought a house for Doyle's mother. But that generosity, combined with crushing taxes and failed businesses, eventually caught up with him. He returned to the ring and fought another 63 fights over the next decade, long after his prime, because he needed the money. By 1965, Robinson admitted in his autobiography that he had spent every dollar he had ever earned. He spent his final years living modestly in a Los Angeles duplex and died in 1989 from complications related to Alzheimer's disease, with an estimated net worth of around $500,000. Shane Mosley. Few fighters enjoyed the kind of success Shane Mosley did. Sugar Shane won world titles in 3 different weight divisions, finished his career with 49 wins, 10 losses, and 41 knockouts, and earned millions along the way. He reportedly made as much as $7 million for fighting Floyd Mayweather alone, and at his peak, his net worth was estimated at around $35 million. Then came the divorce.
Yeah, she did take half my bread, and we did get, and then the belts, I kind of, they're my kids. Three belts I had. I was like, yeah, whatever, let's just get this divorce on.
His ex-wife, Jen Sheehan, received approximately $6 million in assets, over $600,000 in spousal support, half of profits from fight DVDs and purses earned during the marriage, and custody of 3 championship belts. Additional court orders included back child support, attorney fees, and a $75,000 defamation judgment. In 2015 filings, Mosley reported $14.6 million in assets against $4.8 million in debts. Today, his net worth is estimated at about $10 million. He trains his son, Shane Mosley Jr., runs a foundation, and has lived at times on a chicken farm in California. Far from broke in the traditional sense, but a dramatic fall from the heights he once reached. While Shane Mosley managed to hold on to part of his fortune, this next heavyweight lost almost everything. Leon Spinks. Everything changed for Leon Spinks in the space of a few years. He grew up in poverty in St. Louis, joined the Marines, won Olympic gold in 1976, alongside his brother Michael. In only his 8th professional fight, at age 24, he pulled off one of the biggest upsets in heavyweight history by beating Muhammad Ali via split decision. His gap-toothed grin became one of the most famous images in boxing, but his reign lasted just 212 days before Ali won the rematch. Spinks earned an estimated $4.5 to $5.5 million during his career, with about $3.5 million coming from the Ali rematch alone. Life-changing money for a kid from the projects, but it vanished at a speed that was almost hard to believe. He spent wildly on cars, houses, jewelry, and parties. He hired Mr. T as his personal bodyguard. Bad advisors and unscrupulous managers circled him like sharks. By early 1986, he said he had nothing left but a $500 wardrobe and about $1,600 a month in boxing income. In March of that year, he filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in Detroit, owing about $301,000. After boxing, he worked as a greeter at Mike Ditka's restaurant in Chicago. He cleaned floors as a janitor at a YMCA in Nebraska. He worked at McDonald's. At one point in the late 1990s, he was living in a shelter in East St. Louis. He battled brain damage, dementia-like symptoms, and prostate cancer that spread to his bones. His son, Leon Calvin Spinks, was shot and killed in 1990. He was married 3 times. He dealt with arrests, drug charges, and a chaotic life that never really calmed down, until his final years with his wife Brenda in Nevada. He died on February 5, 2021 in Henderson, Nevada at 67 years old, with Brenda by his side. His brother Michael, who won Olympic gold in that same 1976 games, managed his finances far better. The contrast between the two brothers tells you everything you need to know about how thin the line is between making it and losing everything. Not every boxer on this list lost a fortune because of the way they live. This next champion's downfall came from a courtroom instead of a shopping spree. Ricky Burns, winning world titles in 3 different weight classes, made Ricky Burns the first Scottish boxer to achieve that feat. His biggest payday came when he earned £500,000 for his fight against Terence Crawford, but the story of his financial ruin has nothing to do with mansions or sports cars. Burns split from his longtime promoter Frank Warren in 2013 and moved to Eddie Hearns Matchroom Boxing. Warren sued for around £2 million, claiming breach of contract. The High Court largely ruled in Burns' favor on the biggest claims, but still ordered him to cover his own £200,000 in legal fees, plus about $170,000 toward Warren's damages. In March of 2015, at just 31 years old, Burns declared bankruptcy with debts of over £419,000. His total declared assets were £228, not thousands, just £228. That is less than the cost of a pair of boxing gloves. The man had been so grounded early in his career that he kept a part-time job at a sports shop even after winning a world title. His financial collapse came not from extravagance, but from a legal battle he could not afford to fight. He continued boxing after bankruptcy, winning the WBA light welterweight title in 2016, and today works as a coach with Boxing Scotland. Scott Harrison. becoming a two-time WBO featherweight champion, changed Scott Harrison's life. At his peak, he was worth an estimated £4 million, buying a Porsche, a luxury villa in Spain, and living the kind of lifestyle most fighters only dream about. Before boxing, he had been a joiner earning £200 a week. Then his personal demons took over. Alcohol problems sent him to the Priory Clinic in 2006. He was jailed for drink driving and assault, and faced a string of incidents in Spain, including attacking a police officer while intoxicated. He served years in prison across Scotland and Spain. In 2007, he was declared bankrupt over an unpaid £83,000 tax bill. By 2014, he was living on £90 a week in government benefits. The villa was gone, the cars were gone, the money was gone. Today, he works as a personal trainer in Glasgow, offering boxing sessions. His finances are modest compared to his peak, but he appears to have stabilized after years of turmoil. Dariusz "Tiger" Michalczewski. Before his first loss, Dariusz "Tiger" Michalczewski had gone 48-0. He held the WBO light heavyweight title for nearly a decade, defended it 23 times, and built a career that reportedly earned him around €30 million, with some estimates going as high as $70 million. He spent it in the most predictable ways possible. In interviews, he openly admitted to blowing through €30 million on women and partying, using the German phrase verhört und versoffen. Multiple divorces cost him another €10 to €15 million on top of that. Cars, homes, a racehorse, and all the luxuries a European boxing star could want. But unlike many fighters on this list, Michalczewski found a lifeline. He licensed his Tiger nickname to create Tiger Energy Drink, a brand that became hugely popular in Poland. When the licensing company tried to take his trademark, he fought them all the way to the Polish Supreme Court in 2021 and won. Today, he describes himself as financially independent, living off investments, real estate, and income from the Tiger brand, managed by professional advisors. He founded a charity called Renaissance for youth from troubled families. He went broke and came back, which puts him in rare company on this list. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.